Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, another weekend series against the Red Sox, but this one's even worse. The Yankees get swept up in Fenway, lose all three games, get swept in the day-night doubleheader Sunday, which is the makeup for the rained-out game on Saturday, except maybe two stretches in this game. I would say maybe early on in games 2 and 3, maybe the Yankees were kind of competing with the Red Sox, but other than that, really looked just completely overwhelmed by the Red Sox players. I mean, the hitters are just, peppering the ball all over the place. Yankee pitching, especially the bullpen, was terrible. Probably, I don't know. I got to say, the Yankees have been swept in on series before, but this, and not this goes to the most recent one, but this overall, this probably feels like this is the worst of them was right now where this team is with Judge out. And of course, him, now he had a second injection with the toe there. Still no timetable for him to come back. And this looks like no one on the offense is really stepping up right now. And just things look quite dire. The Yankees slipped back 10.5 games behind the Rays in first place there. And this, you got about 3.5 months to catch it up. And I don't know, it just seems tougher for the Yankees. So in a bad spot right now. So we'll go over the series. But before we do, make sure you subscribe, whatever. If you see something in front of you that looks like that, resembles that button, hit that and get notified. New content goes out throughout the rest of the season. Interviews, all cool stuff. But if you want to get these little wrap-up reports after each series, you got to be a podcast subscriber. So make sure you do that. So the Yankees right now are just in a bad spot. Again, this just felt like this is probably the worst 3 games series of the season so far. Yes, they've been swept before, as I said. But just right now, just look miserable. Just miserable to watch. Can't score any offense. They scored 5 runs in the first game, but it was a blowout, 15-5. You count that. They scratched some garbage runs late in that game. They were like down almost like 13-1 or something like that. So you don't even count those runs. Now, look, the first game there, Herman, he got knocked around. Now, he's been good lately. He was stellar in his last start against the Red Sox, and overall he's been throwing in some good performances. So, in a way, you almost expect a stinker there, so you can live with that a little bit. But the Yankee bullpen after what they brought in, and especially Matt Crook right after, I mean, he's got absolutely annihilated. But I guess with Boone, he couldn't use up everyone right away, so he just kind of stuck him in there. So I'm already down 4-1. He gives up another 5 runs, and the game is really over. And again, the Red Sox is, home runs, doubles, is hitting the ball all over the place. And this Yankees in the field, kicking the ball around, looking sloppy. Gleyber, again, it seems like he has a head up his backside. We saw that just some bad plays also during the Mets series. Not sure what's up with him. Now, he did make up in the second game and the third game as well. You got to say the both games, though, he actually did hit a home run, a couple of doubles in the second game. But overall, it's something with him. It just looks like his head's out of it right now. So I'm not sure what's going on. Again, if Girardi was the manager, we saw him when he pulled Cano that time. I'm surprised. I don't think Boone would do that to Gleyber, but maybe he needs like something that to shake him up. But the first game, okay, you figure you lose that. Again, Herman was due for a bad loss. Okay, fine. Now, look, you're not expecting to get annihilated by a football score there. The other team scored 15 runs. Okay, it happens once in a while. Get out of your system. The Yankees haven't had too many of those type of games this season, so you can almost live with one there. But the next two are really just annoying because, you get yet another good start from Clark Schmidt in the first game of the doubleheader. Again, the Saturday game got rained out. And again, he's been pitching much better than his 2-6 record reflected. The Yankee offense hasn't been scoring for much. And he left the game in the 5th inning there. At least the game was tied 2-2. Now, he wasn't going to get the win, but it would have been nice if the Yankees could have scored more than 2 runs. At least maybe it would have given an opportunity where Boone could at least let him finish the 5th frame there to earn the win there. But that's not the case. He had to go with King. Now, King would get out of the 5th, but unfortunately, the Red Sox would just slap him around, pretty much hit the ball, whether it was a righty or lefty, just go nuts off the green monster there. Eventually, take the lead in the game and then secure a 6-2 win there. And again, just a bad because other than the Gleyber Torres 2-run home run in the first inning, nothing from the Yankee offense the rest of the way there. So it's just quite frustrating. And, Fenway Park, it is a hitter's park, so even if you don't have Judge, I mean, there are the other guys, on this team that at least scratch more than 2 runs there. So kind of a continuation of the first game where they really only scored 1 run, and then you had like 4 runs of garbage late in the game. But you only scored 1 run there when the game meant something. And now this other game, again, when the game was on the line, it meant something. You only scored 2 runs, which then brings us to the nightcap, which was, again, a frustration course. You actually did get a good start from Luis Severino. Now, Luis Severino, the previous 3 starts, has not been good. Especially going through the third time through the line. And this wasn't the case again. Now you can look at Luis Severino's line there and say, he got knocked around. He scored, gave up 4 runs. Wasn't really the case. Now he was going shot for shot with Bayo, who shut out, pretty much shut the Yankee offense down last week when he came to Yankee Stadium. But they were both in a 1-1 game. Now Severino got out of a jam in the 4th there. Now had bases loaded. It could have been much worse. Now, unfortunately, threw a pitch, and thanks to catch and interference from Higgy trying to reach out to grab a slider there, bat hit his glove there. So in that case, the umpire awarded runner on third to come home. So it gave Boston at that point a 2-1 lead, but Severino was able to get a jam there and withhold the bleeding. But again, the Yankee offense wasn't able to do anything in return, and Bayo just pretty much mowed down the Yankee lineup, struck out Stanton at will, and Stanton just looked like this completely overmatched the entire night. Now, the Yankees did have a couple of opportunities in this game, down 4-1 with a couple of runners on, did nothing, but really the killer was the seventh inning there because they get 2 runners on, nobody out. All right, let's do something. Now you have Willie Calhoun up, who again, he's been a good surprise for the Yankees. He's gotten some couple of good home runs, and again, good story that you don't expect much out of him, but a terrible at bat with nobody out. The second strike he takes, it's a little on the outside corner, but it's still a very hittable pitch where it was not much movement on it. He could have easily served that into left field. It would have been a nice double probably, or even a single to score and run, cut the lead in half 4-2. So he stands there, looks at strike 2, which is, again, in the zone. It was a very hittable pitch. There's a straight fastball, nothing to it. And then after that, he swings at a pitch high and way out of the zone for strike 3. It's just a miserable at-bat for him there. Volpe grounded out. Well, of course, he's been doing a lot of that lately. And then strikes out McKinney to end the inning there. And just a wasted opportunity. 2 runners on, nobody out, and they can't even scratch 1 run there. So the Yankee offense is completely just anemic at this point, and the Yankees eventually go down in the game 4-1 there, and lose the day-night doubleheader there, and it completes the sweep. And it's just look at the Yankee offense. Look, there's a lot of nice stories. We like with Bowers, we like McKinney, and stuff like that, and Calhoun, the good pieces like that. And they're not really what's hurting the team, though. What's hurting the team is the main guys that you're paying, and they're supposed to be doing good, like Rizzo, who's a miserable mess. Stan got a home run, great when he first came back, great, wowee, a little bit at the Dodge game, but overall, collectively, since he's been back, hasn't been doing much for the Yankees at all. And he's, again, he's not a bum. He's in his prime. He's a former MVP type player there, man. He's the type of guy who can carry a team, but you're not getting anything from him. Now, DJ didn't play the second game, but overall, he hasn't been doing much. And again, he's pretty much been relegated to a 250 hitter. So DJ, Rizzo, Stanton, those are the guys that are hurting this team right now by not hitting. Volpe a little bit, not there like that, but the Calhouns, the Bowers, those guys are replacement players at some point. They're probably not going to be here in a month or two. It has to be those guys contributing, and they're not right now. And again, this Yankee offense looking quite miserable as, again, there's really no timetable yet when Judge is going to come back. Beta should be coming back soon, so that should help a little bit. Okay. But again, a miserable loss for the Yankees. The only thing I think you take away from this, maybe that'd be positive, that Severino, again, despite his line, did throw a good game. He didn't deserve really the fate he got. Even picked off a batter as well. So at least good to see him have a good game, on the road in Fenway. It's not easy there for, an opposing pitcher, of course. So, okay, you'll take away from that. But other than that, not much like with this Yankee team right now. Not doing too well. And again, the offense, we saw him scratch some runs and come back, against the Mets 5-1. But ever since then, pretty much been quiet. And now lost 4 games in a row. And as mentioned before, dropped down to 10.5 games behind the Rays in the AL East there. And you get to a point where you kind of have to look, there's a lot of baseball left. And I'm not going to say this is the Yankees team because, one Judge is in there. They're a totally different team. He makes Rizzo better. He makes DJ better. If Stan can at least stay healthy, it'll make him better. And they'll be much better and they'll be scoring some runs. But without him, though, they're completely anemic right now. And this shows that, yes, he is the MVP. So even though Ohtani's doing some great stuff right now, and probably Ohtani's going to get the MVP this season, without Judge, this Yankee team, the offense is just a totally different ball game there. And I'm sure if you saw the stat they threw up there on ESPN, 49% of the Yankees' runs this season have been via the home run. And just they're not hitting home runs. That's pretty much what all they do, and that's pretty much it with them. And now when Judge is in there, he's hitting home runs, others hit home runs, and it filters up and down. But when you don't have him in there hitting the home runs, no one else is taking the torch right now. And again, Stanton has to be that guy. Even Gleyber has to be that guy more. And again, he had a good 2 or 3 second and third game of the series. But overall, again, his head's been up his backside. And so, and in fact, even in this game, the second double he got in the third game, he kind of nonchalanted it into second base. I mean, they threw the ball into second. Like, it was kind of close to, like, maybe this, I don't know. He kind of walked right into second base. I mean, that could have been a close play. I think the Red Sox kind of went bang on it a little tougher, maybe because the Red Sox were 4-1, so they weren't really as, on edge about it. But if it was a tied game, they threw that ball into second, he would have been nailed. At that point, if you're Boone, you have to take him out of the game and sit him down and maybe even fine him. Who knows? But Yankees not looking good right now. So they come home now. I guess they're going to be the hosts for the AL West. They're going to have 3 games against Seattle there starting Tuesday. And then after that, Texas, who's having a good season, But again, there'll be no Jacob deGrom, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, Texas, playing a much better brand of baseball than the Texas have been the past couple of seasons, so it's not going to be easy for the Yankees. But a little homestand there, and again, Beta should be back in the mix hopefully by then, and then that should help the offense a little bit. But you need the big guy Judge back because this whole team just relies on him way too much. So that's what the Yankees are at right now, 39-31. You win 2 games, that maybe take 2 out of 3 against Seattle there, and then you feel a little bit better. Maybe you get back to 10 games over 500, you feel okay, and then, you should sort of build from there. But right now, again, this Yankee offense has to, find more runs, and it's not going to be Bowers. It's not going to be Calhoun. Now you can rely on Volpe. It has to be the main guys. I'm going to put up the 4. It has to be Rizzo, has to be Stanton, has to be DJ, and has to be Gleyber Torres. Now, Donaldson's been back, and can't complain too much. The guy's been hitting home runs. The only problem is that's all he's doing. I think every hit except one has been a home run. So that part you like, but you don't expect too much from him. So, but he's not at the point where he's been a total bum and where you can't really complain about him. So, I take the heat off him there. But DJ, he needs to do it. Rizzo needs to do it. Stanton needs to do it. And Gleyber Torres, they'll need to be the 4 until the Judge comes back. So, Section 420, Talkin Yankees, not a good weekend at all, but put in the past. Now, Mariners come in, and it's going to be a little tougher this time because you don't have the big man Judge. Remember, Judge had that great series in Seattle where, had a couple of home runs. He robbed Teoscar Hernandez's home run was on the highlight reel, but you're not going to have Judge here. And now this time, Seattle's going to have Julio Rodriguez, who was out for that series. So it's not going to be as easy for the Yankees, but at least the Yankees are going to be at home. So hopefully that helps. So catch you in the next one.